And here we are, just outside the castle of Babble, where King Berkey and his little jester Badger like to stroll around, looking at board games that were planted in the years gone by, and seeing which of these are still standing in the woods of Evergreen.
Hey! It's the Berkey and the Badger! And we are not on the Board Game Babble Show, but today we are on the Woods of Evergreen 2011 second round of games that we think stand the test of time from 2011. How are you there, my friend Badger?
I'm very well, thank you, my good sire. You're looking happier than ever, and shaven and shorn, and well, I'm shaven and shorn as well.
I'm looking happier than ever.
Yes. You got your smiley cam on. That's what it is.
It's a filter. It's absolutely a filter.
Okay, that's why you look younger than me. Now,
but I'm not. We just had this conversation.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Everybody, how old is Barry Doublet?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, join us in the chat, man. And we'll talk about it. And then you can guess how old Berkey is.
Yeah, let's have a laugh.
Let's have a laugh.
So, the Woods of Evergreen is our stroll down memory lane, or in our case, a stroll through the Babble forest, looking at the trees that we've planted in memory of the great games that have been published. And we're going to be looking in our section of the 2011, the games that come out there. And we're going to be doing 3 each in this show, the second round. We've already done 3. And I will spiel them off for you. Spiel them off. I like that.
Yeah, spiel them off. Just spiel them. Maybe peel them off.
Oh, peel them off. Okay.
Well, spiel incorporates the thought of speech.
Okay.
Maybe not.
Well, spiel is in the German word spiel.
Spiel?
Yes.
Spiel means what?
Okay. Right. Well,
that's another question for all of our listeners. Tell us what spiel means.
I don't mean to spill the beans, but
oh, Tim Douglas just chimed in, and
he
says 48. So, are you referring to Barry? Or are you referring to Berkey? That is the question.
I don't get offended that easily.
Yeah, I don't get offended.
In fact, I don't
that either.
Remember the last time I got offended. So, yeah.
I am offended.
I am defended of the realms. I am the defended of the realms.
Okay, Barry, he says you're 48, so we'll see what everybody else thinks. We'll revisit this throughout the entire show just to keep it interesting. All right, spiel it off then, or peel it off, or
the 3 games that Berkey,
what we picked.
The 3 games that Berkey picked last time were TI3 Shards of the Throne, which I think is an expansion, yes?
That was a win. Yes, it was.
Okay.
That was a big win.
He also liked the game Airlines of Europe, which is the Alan Moon game, yeah?
That's a big win, too.
Yeah, that's a big win, yeah. Okay. And his 3rd game was Cool Worlds, and I'm just going
to... Cool Worlds! One of my favorite of all time.
I have Cool Worlds.
Ooh.
And this is unplayed still.
Oh, man.
From, I think, the 2012 Essen Spiel. I bought it off of Stephen Bonacore, and I'm sad to say I haven't managed to get it to the table for some reason. It just sits on my shelf, and it just looks good. And so I don't need to play it.
I wonder if there's a digital implementation that we could do together. That would be cool.
Yeah, maybe me on them too. But anyway, my 3 games from last time were Pastiche, Timeline, and the classic, wonderful game, King of Tokyo.
King of Tokyo? I thought it was a different one.
Oh, no. I've written on there the ones that I'm going to be doing today. So,
yeah. That's why.
Yes. So, Yeah, that's why I looked at them and I go, that's interesting, because some of these games that I'm going to say in this episode, it's like, well, why didn't I say them last time? I know one of them I didn't say last time, but the other two I'm like, But anyway,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Very good. Very well done.
Okay. Would you like to take it away, Sire?
I would love to take it away.
tree?
I would love to take it away. One of the things I'll make a quick caveat about this is there was a potload of games in this year that I actually think we could do a third round without much trouble.
Okay.
Anyway. Now, the prior years we've been doing from 2005, we did 2000 to 2005, and then we did 2005 and 6, and we were almost having a hard time going back and picking 6 games that we play that stand the test of time. But now I think we're entering into the renaissance of board gaming, baby, where a potload of amazing games are being designed. Do you agree with that?
Or we're into a phase where we were passively buying lots of stuff that Tom Vassell told us to buy. And so therefore we have all these games and we've played them. Because I mean, I looked your list. I remember seeing reviews for those games and not buying them or not being interested in them. No offense. That sounded like an insult. Your games on your list.
Your games suck.
Yeah, your games suck.
No, your gaming taste sucks.
But yeah, it's like I remember seeing a video of that and thinking, I might get that. I might get that. I might not.
I might get that. Yeah. Okay, well here we go. I'm gonna just let it rip. This is in my top 40 games of all time. I have a special shelf where I have some of my top games, and this is there. And this is from one of the designers that I just love his games. We recently played a game of his called Marrakesh. Ooh. And he has a whole new series of games with Queen games. But this one here was by Ravensburger. And I had a real hard time, and I'll tell you why on my next pick. But I really enjoy Stefan Feld games. Now, I recognize some people don't care for them because they are what a lot of people consider point salads. There's so many roads and paths to victory that you're getting points everywhere, everything you do, that you can't even figure it out. Well, I actually like that. It's like, I don't like the games that I have to have perfect information and have to analyze everybody else's tableau diligently to know if I'm making the right move. It overcomplicates it for me, and I can't quite do it. So having some variability with all these different ways of winning, or the feeling of wanting to be clever and try another way to win versus going this way, I love that. And that's what Stefan Feld games give for me. But the reason I really like this one, I think it's my favorite game. I struggle a little with this, but my favorite game of Stefan Feld is Castles of Burgundy. I have a really cool insert here where it plays 1 to 4 players, and I have little dice towers that are in the shape of a castle for each player. But this game uses dice rolling. And so you're rolling a pair of these dice and you're moving them around on this main player board that allows you to get more workers, or to mitigate your dice, or to put resources on these territories, and you're trying to get a certain group of territories. They recently came out with a brand new version of this game on GameFound, and it's one of my most anticipated Kickstarter crowdfunding type of games. That on Kickstarter, Last Light is one I'm super excited about. But the other one is the Castles in Burgundy Deluxeified Edition, because I just love this game. My daughter, Maddie, loves Stefan Feld also, so she's going to inherit this copy once I get mine. But, this has this, territory building, dice rolling, a lot of end game scoring mechanisms that are there. There's this hexagon grid type of thing where you're actually getting resources if you do this, and there's just always so many interesting choices. And I haven't played this game actually for a little while, and as I was reviewing it just a little bit, I thought, gosh, I really need to play this again. And that's been the biggest problem with some of these older games. While I recognize that they're some of my favorites, we just don't get back to them that often because we're always trying out the new stuff. And it makes me wonder if that doesn't need to change. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I feel that every time we do these older game segments, it's like I haven't played that in a long time, so it's not super clear in my mind other than the memory of the experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've always found with the older games is you have those friends that like the cult of the new, and they've just bought this, and this, and they want to play it. But I like slipping into a nice comfy t-shirt. Hence, I'm wearing a nice comfy t-shirt. And I find that old games that I've played a lot in the past, I can slip into. I can just like look at the rules, and then the rules just fall back into place. And it's like, oh yeah, you can do this on this, and then the game is just like done, which is great. Especially for me because I have to explain the rules in French. And if you've got a new game and you've just learned it, then to translate everything and remember everything is a problem. But when you got an old game, it's like, oh yeah, I remember this, remember that, and then it's just the translation, which is the hurdle for me. So, but Castle.
I like slipping into my comfy T-shirt too, as you can see my Arcane Wonders wonderful T-shirt.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, it is a nice T-shirt.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I said 1 for the T-shirt and 2 for the shoes.
My blue
3 for
too.
3 for a game clipper. Yeah. Okay. Which one am I going to start with? I will start with this one here. All right. It could have gone on my list last time, but the reason it didn't, and the reason I thought about it is it didn't go on the list because I didn't like it. I tried to play strategically, and sometimes it paid off, and sometimes you just lost due to luck, or your daughter just filling up the panda's belly with food. And that game is Takenoko.
There it is.
But I do like it. It's a game that I still keep playing, even though I don't like the fact that you can't play to win, technically, in my opinion. But you can play for fun. And that's the great thing. This game has just a wonderful mechanic where it's like you are gods and you are manipulating the land to try and achieve your objectives. And there's not a lot of games that do that. In my opinion, well, in my experience, but Takenoko does it, where basically all players can on their turn do 2 actions, and there's 5 actions to choose from. You can make bamboo grow by moving the gardener into a tile. If it's irrigated, you can move the panda into a tile where there's bamboo and he'll eat it. You can grow the land, so you add another tile. You can take irrigation, so you can irrigate tiles which are far away from water, and you can draw new objective tiles. And each turn you're just doing 2 of these actions and trying to achieve your objectives, whether it's to fill the belly of the panda with certain colored bamboo, or to get a certain tile, certain height of bamboo, or to lay out the tiles and color in a certain formation. And it's relatively simple. It's an easy game to teach, and it's a beautiful looking game as well. The components are stellar.
Awesome.
And I'm not, it's a lovely game with an original idea and some great mechanics. As I said, if you're a gamer, you'll want to game it and win, but you shouldn't. You should just play it just for the fun and the experience. And the pleasure. It's a pretty zen game. We always have fun, and hopefully this weekend I'm going to try it on some friends who have never played board games this weekend. So yeah, this is a nice kind of light family style game.
Yeah, this game, I remember Will Wheaton on Tabletop playing this game and introducing it, and he had so much excitement and joy over presenting this particular game to the public, and I really felt that from him on this particular game. Other ones, it was the celebrity fun or whatever, they were doing, but this particular one I could tell he really cared about. And my daughter Gabrielle loves this game. I would love to get the big deluxeified version of this, because they made a really big tile that came in this great big box, and it was crazy expensive, and I would never pay the $1,200 or whatever now that they're going for, but I so wish I would have gotten it. And Gabby loves this game, and she always kicks our butt when we play this game.
Yeah.
Wow. She just grokks it every time for some reason, and it's so cute, and it's just fun. But there's good choices. It's not like it's a poorly designed game or anything like that. It's a good game.
No. Just in my experience, I play strategically, and I normally beat my daughter. But there was a couple of times when she did this strategy of just drawing bamboo, the panda cards, and she would win. And it took me by surprise, because she was able to fill them up quickly and score the points. And it was like, what just happened?
There's a little bit of random there with which cards come off, and if you've got the right resources already stored up and you kind of plan for that, it's almost like Ticket to Ride. If you have all these different train tracks in place, and then at the end you're grabbing those destination tickets, and I already got that one. Well,
I'm already clicked to there. All I've got to do is add 2 more trains there, and then I've done that route. Yay! Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
Well, that's very said. We'll go on to our sponsor of the show that has been with us since we started. And we're going to talk about this, but our next episode, we are going to be celebrating 8 years of podcasting and over 100 episodes. This will be our 100th Berkey and Badger Board Game Babble Show. Now, we've created other content that isn't included in that number, but this is episode 100 of Berkey and Badger Board Game Babble. Quite a deal.
Yeah.
For us.
Looking forward to it.
It's like a serious accomplishment.
Well, for us, yeah.
For us.
Yes.
Did it.
For us, yeah.
We should have quit a long time ago. But we
should have. No, but
we persevered. Never give up.
Never surrender.
We will fight on the beaches. We will fight on the landing zones.
Oh, I was thinking Galaxy Quest, but you're a Star Trek. You're a Star Trek purist. Galaxy Quest is out of the window there.
That wasn't Star Trek, but you do come from England, don't you?
What are you saying?
I said we will fight on the landing zones.
Oh, right. Sorry. All right.
We'll fight on the beaches.
I thought you were.
We shall never give up.
A Blake 7 fan and not a Star Trek fan. No. That's another kettle of fish again.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so who's been with us since the beginning?
Who's been with us? Our wonderful sponsor, Arcane Wonders.
Yay!
Our good friend Robert Geislinger and the team there has been hard at work putting out all kinds of cool stuff. So you see their new logo there. The new expansion for the hit game Furnace Interbellum. Now, I don't have the Interbellum expansion yet, but I was able to play Furnace at Tantrum Con and absolutely loved it. The engine building, the bidding mechanism, loved it. I want to play it all the time. If you can go ahead and get Furnace Interbellum. Their other game that's getting a lot of press is the Dice Manor. And again, just super fun dice auction type of mechanism, getting these manor tiles. But I was able to play this likewise at Tantrum Con. Really enjoyed the gameplay. They have the new Mother of Frankenstein, which is Volume 1. And this is just this exciting puzzle type of game that has come out. And there's going to be several volumes of this game coming out. And in just a little bit of time, there's going to be a huge, and I'm not kidding, announcement from Arcane Wonders about a new game from a very famous IP that is going to be released, and it's going to blow people's socks off. So encourage you to go check out arcanewonders.com.
Cool.
Ba-boom. Number two for me.
I
Yes.
don't want to. I want to
Yes.
talk about this Arcane Wonders game.
Oh, which one? Oh, the other one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Whatever it is.
Super jazzed. It's going to be a big time deal.
I'm in the dark. He knows what it is, but I don't.
I can't tell. Otherwise, they'd have to kill me.
Yeah.
If I told, they'd kill me. Maybe not really, but kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, without Arcane Wonders' generous support of this podcast, this thing would have sunk a long time ago.
Yeah. It would.
Who would have paid the fees? I ain't going to pay the fees.
Well, we could have always chopped down these trees in the evergreen forest here and just sold the wood.
Even though I pay the fees, right?
Oh, yeah. You do.
Whatever. Okay. we could have done wood cutting and sold our wares.
Or traded them for sheep.
And or Libsyn subscriptions. Okay, my game of 2011. And this one kind of threw me for a loop for a little bit because I was looking through my game collection.
Yeah.
And this one actually says it won a prestigious Deutscher Spielisch in 2012,
Whoa.
a year after it was produced. But this game was at the top of the BGG, Board Game Geek, rating system for the longest time. When I first got into the big gaming, this was right at the top. And this is Stefan Feld again, Trajan.
Wow.
Now they have a new rendition of Trajan. But again, we've got this here is from Hooch Games at Ammonit, the version I have. They have a newer version of it. But this is, again, a game that's 1 to 4 players. There's lots of little tiles there. And basically, it's got an area movement area with hand management. So you're collecting sets. You're getting points for those sets. There's open drafting of these sets. You're collecting, set collection. Lots of bits in this and resources, all really nicely done with little wooden bits. But basically, it's got the Mancala mechanism. And this is what I love about this game. You're going to take some of these bits, but you're going to move them around. And that's going to allow you to go to different areas on the board. And those different areas are going to allow you to do different things. And so you've got this balance where you can't really do everything, but you want to do everything. And so you're trying to, okay, am I going to go over here? Am I going to collect these cows, I'm going to collect these symbols, or am I going to collect these tiles? There's a military aspect to it that you can kind of go that way. And, on your turn, you're going to pick up one of those, up all the pieces in one side of the bowl. You're seeing the picture here. And then you're going to distribute them one by one in the bowls in a clockwise order. So wherever the piece is placed, that player takes that action associated with that bowl, and you'll see those are randomized for every game. And in addition, the color pieces in that bowl match the colors shown on the Trajan tile next to the bowl, and then you get to take that action on the tile. And why are you trying to take these actions? I'm so glad you asked. To acquire victory points.
Why are you acquiring these victory points?
To win the game. We play to win the game.
No.
It has this form, and you're trying to anticipate the demands of the public so you can supply them what they want, not suffer a penalty, because there is a little bit of that too. And then in the Senate, you can acquire influence, which translates to victory points. Ideally, you want to snag a law that fits your long-term plan, so it has kind of that end game scoring type of things. And with military, you take control of regions in Europe, earning more points, for those regions. And it's on a compact board. It's not a war game. The point that I'm trying to say, I guess, with all of this is This game has a lot of paths to victory, a lot of strategies. When I first got into gaming and the Euro game craze, if I can say it like that, started to emerge with these more complex resource management, more complex combinations, all of these kind of things. At that whole rage was happening. This game was considered very complex at the beginning stages of that. And so it was kind of a hindrance or a barrier to entry for some gamers. Now, I think most people don't feel like this game is that heavy. There's a lot going on, but it's not hard to learn. It's a great, fun game. There's just all kinds of things that you can do. And so it takes a little bit to wrap your head around why you're doing different things. But once you play this game a time or two, it's just a blast. I had a hard time deciding whether Trajan is my favorite over Castles of Burgundy.
All right.
And I could still change after multiple new plays of this what my feeling is, but I love that. And I love the Stefan Feld game Merlin also, but I had to put that third over these two. Oh. So anyway, love me some Feld. That's Trajan. I got to meet him actually at a Secret Cabal meetup at Gen Con one year. Travis Reynolds from Queen Games. He says, Berkey, you got to come over there. And I didn't know who he was. He's really tall.
Yeah.
You know, he's like 6'5" or something.
I know.
And he's, balding and thin man. And just it's gracious and kind. And
oh, yeah.
I mean, he just immediately took interest in you. And we just started talking about all kinds of things. And it was such a great honor to meet the guy, So that was probably had some Happy Mouse spice with me and some Berkey's jerky, and we gave him a bunch of spices and jerky, and it was just cool to meet him.
Yeah, I met him as well, and I didn't know who he was. I taught him a game, quite a complicated game, and after he played it, he said, I like the game, and I liked your presentation of the game. You explained it really, really well. And he went away, and someone turned around to me, one of my colleagues said, oh, you know who that is? I don't know. That's Stefan Feld.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great story, buddy.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
My second game. Well, I have a choice on this one because these are both games that I've just recently played, which came out in 2011 and recently acquired. And so I've had to which one of these is going to fit on the list? It's so I'm juggling, but I made a choice anyway. So the two games were Elder Sign.
Yep.
And The Adventurers. The Pyramid of Oris. And out of the two, I'm going to have to say the one I had most fun playing was The Adventurers. Sorry, Elder Signs. I love Elder Signs, and I love Richard Launius, and I love Arkham Horror. But no, this game pipped it out easily due to the fact that it is a kind of fun party-style kind of push-your-luck game. By Frederic Henry. Again, you had Stefan Feld twice. I've had Frederic Henry twice with Timeline on the last show. And this one as well. In the game, players are like Indiana Jones characters going into a pyramid. And they are searching for treasure. And in the first corridor, there is sand pits with scorpions and treasure hidden. But so you'll be drawing cards randomly from a pile, and then you go deeper into the temple, and then there's another area where there's snakes and better treasure, and you can search for that. And in the middle, there's a pool with crocodiles and even better treasure. And then on the outside of the tomb, there are these sarcophaguses, and they have even better treasure, but getting into them can be a nightmare because there's these mummies roaming around, and they can do damage to you. The object of the game is to go in there, get as much good treasure as possible, and get out before the temple closes. Because on your turn, you'll be rolling 5 dice, And whatever the values are determines how many actions you have. And your actions that you can have are simple: move or search. But again, your actions are going to be dictated to you by the amount of weight that you have. The more stuff you are carrying, the less actions you can do. So if you're carrying nothing, any dice which says 2 or more is an action. So if you roll 5 dice and you get a 2, a 3, and 2 5s and a 6, that means you have 5 actions. But let's just say that you're carrying a lot of stuff. Your weight level goes up. And so only dice which are 4 or more give you an action. So in that case, you only have 3 actions instead of 5. And so you have to negotiate these kind of like, how much stuff should I carry? Should I dump this and then search here to find better treasure, or just get out the temple? Because after your turn, you're going to be drawing one of these rocks, and wherever you'll look at the number on it, and wherever the number it is, you'll place it on the space on the board, and eventually the tomb will close itself off, or you might get crushed by this rock and you can dive out the way if you're lucky enough. But if you're stuck in a corner, you're dead, adventurer. And so this is like that Oink game. Is it Deep Sea Adventure?
Okay.
Where
you push your luck.
You're pushing your luck. You're going in and you're trying to find the good stuff and then get out in one piece without dying. And hopefully at the end have the most treasure out of the survivors of this adventure. It is fun. It's 3D, it's tactile, there's lots of cards, and the rules are very simple. And I just fell in love with this game. Thanks to Guillaume for giving me this. His collection was too big. He just said, hey, you know what, Barry, take this. And I was like, yeah, it scratches that Indiana Jones itch, because there is another version of the Adventurers, an older version, about a couple of years older, which is Indiana Jones, where you're running away from the boulder. But this one's a bit more simpler, I found. A bit more easy to understand and a bit more easy to play. Nice minis, nice presentation, nice art. And that's Fantasy Flight, or Edge if you're in Europe.
Wow.
The Adventurers, the Pyramid of Oris.
I have never heard of that game.
No?
No.
It's fantastic. I love it.
It looks really good.
I think it plays up to 8 players as well. And each character has their own power that you can use once as well. So it's light, but it's like a nice big Fantasy Flight kind of style game.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, good fun with lots of players. It's just like you just egg everyone on. You know what Deep Sea Adventure is like?
Sure.
That's like minis, but this is grandiose. Same experience, the same kind of sensation, but just
cool.
Yeah, sorry, I'm rambling.
No, it's awesome. Well, before we each go through our last game, also our other sponsor is, of course, Game Toppers. Yay. And Game Toppers is a portable gaming solution that converts your home table into a high-quality board game table. At Game Toppers, product is in stock right now, and it is shipping out almost every weekday to our backers. So you'll get this product very quickly in the United States, Canada. We can ship internationally now, but now it's a little bit higher direct ship scenario than we've had during our Kickstarter campaigns. But there are some package deals that are still available on our shop.gametoppersllc.com. And one of the things that we've innovated is our new leg kit solution that converts your topper into a full-blown table, but can still be portable, taken to game night, set up just like a folding table in a sense, except the legs screw on really quickly. We also have these amazing powder-coated dining cover solutions for the Sherlock Holmes and the Watson models. These are selling like crazy. If you want one of those, you might want to jump in and get them while we have them. Product is moving out fairly quickly. And you can get a variety of accessories with our cup holders, dice towers, and over 20 different styles of thematic game mats in 11 different sizes from noted board game artists. And these aren't your normal run-of-the-mill game mats. These are 3mm premium stitched edge mats with non-skid backing, water resistant, waterproof, stain resistant covers, and beautifully printed from some top name board game artists like Vincent Dutray, Yaroslav, and Andreas Ziferatis, Joshua Calloway, and others. So with that, you can go to shop.gametoppersllc.com and get your own upgrade to every game that you play. Boom.
Boom.
Mic
Sorry,
drop.
I'm carried away by looking at your website.
Well, very good. My third game, and I haven't played this in a long time. I remember the premise of the game. I don't remember all the game mechanics, to be honest with you. So I'm going to read a little bit of the overview just for those of you listening, have a little bit of an idea of the game. But this game is so much fun. I love this game. It's called Last Will. This is from CGE, Czech Games Edition, and done by Vladimir Suchi. They came out with an expansion or an add-on to this game called the Prodigals Club, which is just it was so interesting how you can play Prodigal Club separately, or you can play it in conjunction with this game, like an expansion almost. And it added some different elements where you could have 3 different zones of this. But Last Will, basically, if you've ever heard of the movie Brewster's Millions, you know, he was willed all this money from his uncle that was trying to stick it to him. And the rule was he was going to make him sick of money, and he had to spend all of his money to get the inheritance. And if he didn't spend all of his money, he wouldn't get the inheritance. But he was having a hard time spending all of his money and not having any assets. So rather than trying to gain assets and resources and all this stuff, like in normal board games, you're trying to get rid of everything, which is really cool. Basically, each player starts with a certain amount of money. You have an individual player board, 2 errand boys, and 2 cards in some combination of properties and your helpers. And you start each round laying out these cards in the appropriate deck on the offering board. There's 4 regular decks: properties, companions, events, helpers, expenses, with special cards forming on their deck. And you have a worker placement mechanism that you're going to go so that you can bid or collect these cards. Each player then chooses a plan for the round, with each plan indicating the number of cards the player draws, drawn immediately from the 4 regular decks in any combination. How many errand boys you use, 1 or 2, the number of actions are available to you in that round, and the spot that you're playing on the round. In the player order of that round, players then take turns choosing an action with their errand boys, which begin those actions, where you can take a card on the display and add it to your hand. You can draw a card from the regular deck. You can visit the opera and spend $2. You can adjust the value modifiers in the market. And then you take a player board extension, giving you more room to play more cards. Well, players take these actions in the player order for that round, with each player having as many actions as indicated on his plan. Actions let you play one-time events, which have a cost, possibly variable. Helpers and recurring expenses, which are placed on your individual player board, and properties, which cost money and depreciate over time. You can often play these companions and these events with recurring expenses because that basically costs more. Like, take your companion on the yacht, it costs more, meaning you're spending more, so you're losing your assets because you're spending all of your money. Well, bottom line, if a player has no money and no properties, he declares bankruptcy and the game ends at the conclusion of that round. Otherwise, the game ends after 7 rounds. The player who has the least amount of money, or even who has the most in debt, wins. And so it's this reverse thinking that I just thought was really awesome in this game, and the combinations and the strategic planning of your round that I found really interesting. It kind of made you feel clever. I love worker placement games, and you have a little bit of that hand management a little bit of an economic track that you're moving back and forth that allows you to manipulate how much you're going to spend on different things. And of course, you want to spend a lot. So you're trying to move that up, but sometimes you want to get that event, or sometimes you want to get that extra helper that's going to cost more for a certain thing. And it's just a super fun game. Loved it. That Vladimir Suchi, it's very comical too. The rules are a bit comedic, but pretty easy to follow. It's called Last Will from CGE.
Yeah, nice.
Have you played that?
No, it was one that was the one on the list which I was tempted to buy when Tom Vassell said, "Buy this game," in his evil, menacing kind of Sauron voice.
Buy this game. I see you.
But anyway, that's funny. My last game is a CGE game as well. Oh, yes, I am surprised this wasn't on the last list as well, because this is the highest rating game on my BGG from 2011. It's Dungeon Pets, which is Vladimir Shavatel. It's
Vladimir Shavatel. Yes, okay.
Yeah, Shavatel.
Yep.
Yeah. Vlad Shavatel. Sorry, mate. This is a good game. Well done. I love this game. I actually told him I love this game as well. I interviewed him once.
I have it. It's just on my shelf of shame.
All right. So this is your cool world for me.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, in Dungeon Pets, it's a worker placement game. Maybe we should get some pictures as well. Show you some pictures. Hey. There we go. It's a worker placement game, and it's an original game as well. I've played a lot of worker placement games, and I like this one because it's different in the fact that you have, say, 7 imps, and on your turn, you're going to be giving them jobs, but you can send them out one by one, or you can send them in groups. The good thing about this is if you send them in groups, you get a better chance of going first to pick a space. So if you've got a group of 4 imps, if no one else has got a group of 4 imps, your imps get to go first. If you've got a group of 3 imps and someone else has a group of 3 imps, whoever's in turn order will go first, and they'll place out their 3 imps, and then the next player place out their 3 imps if there's anybody else, or if you have another group of 3 imps, you then place them out. So the turn order is decided by your largest group. Again, you can use money as an imp as well, because some spaces require money to buy things like cages, and that's basically what you're doing. You're sending your imps out into the market to buy creatures, your cages for the creatures to go in, food, special powers, medicine, the chance to hire more imps from your imp family, which are getting further and further away, and then that's when the fun starts. You put your creatures in your cages, and then you have to attend to their needs. And each creature has these colors, which are the different needs that they have. So red is mainly angry, green is mainly food, purple is mainly magic, and yellow is mainly playing. But there are some of the other things mixed in as well. And you'll be drawing this amount of cards, and then you'll be assigning these cards to each pet. And then you have to appease them. So if they say that they're hungry, you have to have their food for them, whether it be meat or veg or both or neither. If not, they may get sad. If they get too sad, they die. If they die, you lose reputation. And you're trying to build up your reputation as a pet shop owner, because you'll be entering these pets into competitions as well. So depending on the round, if you've fed your animal a lot and there's an eating competition, you're going to get lots of points and extra reputation. And also, you'll be able to sell your pets to customers, again, in the same fashion. It's a case of, if there's someone that's searching for an angry monster and you've just played 3 angry monster need cards on a monster, they're going to spend a lot of money and a lot of reputation on you to give you that boost in the score. This game is so thematic and funny. Even if you haven't played it for a while, just looking at the actions will remind you how they work. It's rare that you will look into the rule book afterwards to decide, okay, well, what does this do? Because you'll automatically know, okay, yeah, I've held some imps back. I haven't used them as workers. I can save them to play with my pets and clean up the poo at the end of the round. Yeah, it's the theme is just amazing. The components are really nice. The artwork is nice. The whole idea of the game is just an amazing idea. I prefer this game over Dungeon Lords, although the theme of Dungeon Lords appeals to me more, but the game I didn't find was as good as this one. This game just boom. And that's Dungeon Pets. Just carnage. Not very. Going back to our last show, we talk about 2-player games. We played this a lot 2-player. Me and my daughter. She loves and to buy the right pet. The pony-looking one or the rabbit-looking one with big vicious teeth. And it's fun to play like that. But you're playing with spaces which get blocked off. So you're not really experiencing the full game. And I think this game will shine one day when we get to play 4 players, I think. Because then you are fighting for the spaces and you are fighting for dominance and having like a large group of imps to go out. And I'm spending all 7 and I'm taking this space because I want that cage.
Well, the idea of cleaning up poo doesn't sound appealing.
No, but that's the fun part. You can remember the rule about that. You remember rules, just like simply, if a creature gets too angry, you play too many angry cards on a creature and the cage is not strong enough, they're going to break free. One of your imps is going to get wounded. They'll have to go to the hospital. So you're going to be an imp down. It's just little things like that send this chain of rules going through your head. And it's like, oh, yeah. And yeah. And
is it kind of like feeding your people type of mechanism?
It's kind of, but it's a bit more interesting in the fact that, as I said, it kind of tells a story. The mechanics tell a story, or the story reminds you of the mechanics. And so it's more like it's better than like, oh yeah, because I put a red cube here, I need to take 3 green cubes and a red card. With this, it's story. Oh, because you have to play with your pet and your pet doesn't get played with because you've got no imps left, they become sad, so you have to take a sad cube. That makes sense. It's story.
It sounds a lot of fun. Tim said 12 years on the Shelf of Shame for shame.
Tim.
I think I've only probably had it on my Shelf of Shame for maybe 5 or 6 years when I actually acquired a used copy of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I got problems. Well, we're about to wrap up our show, but just as a recap, my 3 games that I think stand the test of time is Castles of Burgundy, Stefan Feld game from Ravensburger, another Stefan Feld game, Trajan from Hooch Games, and lastly, Last Will, Vladimir Suchi from CGE. These are the 3 that I think stand the test of time. How about you, Barry?
And my 3 are Takinoko from Bombayx, The Adventurers, the Pyramid of Oris by Fantasy Flight, and Dungeon Pets from CGE.
Awesome. Well, 2011, I think when we come back to this one, if we come back and do this segment again, we also were talking about our ages at the beginning of the show. So for all you listeners that pick up this podcast on iTunes or Libsyn or Stitcher Radio, when this gets professionally audio edited. Say that 3 times fast. Audio edited. I need an AI. It would be so much better.
You could just spell it with numbers if you want.
Professional audio edited podcast. You're going to hear the question, how old is Barry? You can look at his lovely face and you can look at my lovely round head and decide how old we are.
Yeah.
Tim thinks that Barry is 48. I'm going to say that he is wrong about that. and he didn't guess how old I was because he was afraid of offending me. But
And I think
already
everyone
know
else
I'm
was
old.
as well.
Anyway,
Close but no
well,
cigar, Tim. But thank you.
super fun show. Thanks everybody for listening. We're so glad you jumped in. In a couple weeks, we are going to celebrate our 100th episode of Berkey and Badger Board Game Babble Show, our main podcast. This is meant to be just a little bite-sized segment that allows us to talk about some games that we still love. And you are in the zone when you say Berkey's 58 to 60. You are in the zone, Tim. I do have 6 grandchildren, so that's a little telling. But if I dye my hair and shave my beard, I do look 40. It's true. But I haven't done it since I was 40, so I don't know anymore.
Well, thank you for listening, and we will catch you very soon.
And thanks for our sponsors, Arcane Wonders. Check them out at arcanewonders.com. And of course, Game Toppers at shop.gametoppersllc.com. Check us out on Stitcher Radio, the Board Game Geek Guild 2248, and Twitter. You find Berkey and Badger, Facebook, Berkey and Badger, YouTube, Berkey and Badger, Board Game Babble Show. You'll find us everywhere. Thanks again. Off we go into the wild blue yonder.
We're so glad we had this time together. And now it's time to go. It won't be long until we have another show. So keep us in mind, get online. Berkey and Badger will be back in no time.
In no time.
We're back. Welcome. Thanks for staying with us.